Thank you for tuning into the Comcats podcast, brought to you by Aghosta University's Communication Department. On today's episode, An Emergency, we will be following cousins Godfrey and Joan on their chaotic mission to restore school spirit. Welcome to Aghosta University, a place of higher learning, magic, and mystery. The students here come from all walks of life and all corners of the known universe, but their obstacles should sound familiar even to human ears.
Attention, Aghosta University students, take shelter immediately. I repeat, take shelter immediately. If you are in a classroom, remain with your professor. If you are in a dorm that is not your own, stay indoors. Attention, Aghosta University students, take shelter immediately. I repeat.
Hey, Joan, are you hearing this?
Yeah, I wonder what this could be about. It doesn't seem like a drill.
The two students moved to the window to observe the chaos outside. With students running and sirens blaring, the pair felt growing unease as they beheld their campus.
I'm gonna call Klaus, see if he knows something we don't. Hey, Klaus, is this for real? Are you in class right now?
Dude, I don't know. The broadcast happened and my professor started freaking out. You know Professor Hassan? Usually pretty chill. He's blocking the doors and windows like a madman right now.
Whoa. Did he say what was going on? Why we're going into a lockdown?
No, he didn't. Listen, man, I think I should go. Things are getting hectic and I want to stay in the know. I'll call you if I find something out.
Thanks. See ya. Klaus doesn't know anything. His professor seems anxious, but he isn't telling them any specifics.
Maybe he doesn't know the specifics. If there's an emergency broadcast, that means there could be something even Augustine can't prevent from going on.
Damn. Are you sure? Maybe Augustine just ordered extra precautions just for safety. Maybe he's taking care of it.
Joan looked to her cousin with an otherworldly expression, the look the young diviner got when she was going to soon be speaking in prophetics.
Augustine cannot help us now.
The two sat restlessly in Joan's room as they waited for an update from a broadcast, from Klaus, from anyone. Joan developed a steerily drained demeanor after her divination, and any conversation died in Godfrey's throat. They had spent nearly an hour in contemplative silence before the stars answered their prayers.
Attention Aghosta University students, this is a code violet. Unidentified magical force detected within school boards. I repeat, unidentified magical force detected within school boards. Stay indoors.
Magical force? Unidentified? What are they talking about? Joan, what are they talking about?
Let's see. Either the magical force is so discreet it fooled Augustine's protection wards, or
what?
Or who, or whatever this magic came from, has already rendered Augustine incapacitated.
Incapacitated? You really think that's possible? For someone to get past the wards and incapacitate Augustine? They'd have to be ridiculously powerful.
That's exactly the point I'm trying to make. Look, this seems serious. The trace of flimsy magical remnants wouldn't trigger a lockdown. It has to be some formidable form of magic to be this big of a threat.
And we're just supposed to sit here and do what exactly? Wait for this mystery force to threaten us too? Hope and pray that something will be enough to thwart off any further hazards?
Listen, I can't describe what the stars are telling me right now. I feel like my divination senses are being tampered with somehow. It feels like my wits are being siphoned directly out of my body. I don't know what we can do, and I honestly don't know how to find out.
Sorry, Joan. I forget how easy it is for me to deflect to you when I'm stressed. Divination or not, we'll figure something out.
Thanks, Godfrey. It just feels different. like swimming in a pool full of molasses and trying to navigate through a big muddy mess. Whatever this magical force is, it doesn't want people prying into its plans.
Noticing his friend's disheartenment, Godfrey began poring through some of his textbooks, searching for anything about ancient magic. He and his cousin figured that if something were to be stronger than Augustine's protection, it had to be as archaic as the protector himself.
Hey, Joan?
Yeah?
Do you know anything about apotropaic magic?
Like, protection magic? Yeah, it's what Augustine uses to create his wards. Why do you ask?
I was just reading about some ancient forms of dark magic. Apparently, there are a litany of ways to inhibit someone's divination abilities, all of which seems to sprout from the wielding of dark forces.
All right. So we're dealing with the dark force of magic. What does that have to do with apotropaism?
If Augustine's wards were raised using apotropaism, that means this force is stronger than what he predicted. And if divination weakens in response to the wielding of dark magic, that means this force doesn't develop here naturally. Someone is trying to get past Augustine.
That makes sense, but who in their right mind would want to outsmart Augustine? He's been this institution's protector since before it was even called Aghosta University. They'd need to have a death wish.
Someone who's planning to do so for a very, very long time.
Attention Aghosta University students, do not allow anyone to enter your shelter that has not been there during this lockdown. An unknown individual has been detected on campus. They are to be considered dangerous and deceptive. I repeat, they are dangerous and deceptive.
An individual? Like someone's going around campus trying to get into rooms?
Seems like it. If this school is saying they're deceptive, they can probably change form. Looks like we can only rely on each other.
But shape-shifting? That isn't usually associated with dark magic. We were just learning about historical shifters in my History of Magical Conflict class. All of them were valiant, selfless even. Some trait given by the stars to those who brandish reappearance, apparently.
Well, it seems as though our infiltrator is skilled at manipulating incorrigible forces. Maybe they were once good, jilted, and jaded over generations?
Jilted and jaded.
Speak up, Joan. No one likes when you're off in your own head.
Maybe Augustine wronged the shifter in years past. Perhaps it's personal.
We need to dig up history on Augustine's foes, and quickly by the sounds of it.
What exactly are you suggesting?
How far is the library from here?
After some consistent yet trivial resistance from Joan, the two cousins drafted a plan to sneak to the library. With some help from Klaus, that is.
Dude, are you okay? What's up?
You know how last year you aced your Guilds and Glamours final?
What the hell are you up to? Have you not heard the broadcasts? Why do you need a glamour?
If all you know is from the broadcast. Look, I don't have time to explain. Joan and I need to get to the library. We're close, only about 50 feet of outside travel. All we need is 50 feet of coverage.
How is old Joni anyway?
Joan threw a vulgar gesture toward the phone and Godfrey grinned.
She's fine. But Klaus, really, 50 feet. We can be ready in exactly 5 minutes.
Fine, but if you get yourselves killed, it's not on me. You have exactly 1 minute. Do not call unless it's an emergency. You scared the hell out of me.
Thank you. Joan, get ready. Time to make a run for it.
The alchemist and the soothsayer swiftly gathered anything they thought would be useful in their search for Augustine's past. Notebooks, pencils, flashlights, anything to soothe their reeling minds. Just as they left Joan's dorm building, as if on cue, another broadcast sounded over the intercoms.
Intruder spotted in the west wing of campus and has evaded reinforcements. I repeat, intruder spotted in the west wing of campus and has invaded reinforcements.
Godfrey, we're in the West Wing. We need to move now.
Joan and Godfrey ran as fast as their legs would take them through the various foliage that decorated the campus walkways. Once they were under the great stone awning of the library, Godfrey turned to quickly scan their surroundings.
Joan, do you hear that? It sounds like...
Is that a horse?
Get inside. We need to figure out what's going on.
Glad it's empty. I didn't even think what could happen if the library was locked down.
Oh, me either, actually. Thank the stars, I guess.
Okay, we need a plan. There are too many sections and too many books to stay together. I think you should take the historical spirits section.
And what exactly are you going to be doing?
I'm going to the secured branch. I have a feeling that Augustine has some history that he doesn't want to reach students' minds. He's nearly 900, you know. There has to be something regrettable that's happened over the years.
Fine, but next time we go on a super covert wild goose chase, I get the cool task.
The pair split up to cover the respective areas of the library, Godfrey pouting a little harder when he remembered just how many flights of stairs remained between him and the historical spirits section. 10 minutes passed without incident, then 20, then 30. Godfrey was barely into his descent when something caught his eye. A book, strewn aside on a desk as if it had been chucked in a panic, with a massive stallion on the cover.
Lord Asriel, A Brief History of USC Acorn's Equine Savior. USC Acorn? Lord Asriel. Lord Augustine. Joan. Joni. Where's the damn secured branch? Joan.
Gods! Godfrey! You can't just run up on me like that.
Sorry, not really. Listen, I think I know who got past Augustine's wards. I think I know who the intruder is.
What? Really? Who? Get down. Right now.
Joan, I know who has a vendetta against Augustine. Augustine's our protector, yes, but only after proving for centuries that he's worth his salt.
All right, so we all know he's unnecessarily strong.
Other institutions pick their protectors the same way. You know our rival school's mascot? Lord Asriel of USC Acorn. Apparently, we only became nemeses because he and Augustine had some insane falling out before they guarded the universities. Augustine's power was so strong, he left a gash down the stallion's left flank.
All right, but if Asriel lost, how did he inherit USC Acorn? You said they had to prove themselves.
They do. Augustine led a legion in battle with Asriel. He betrayed his mentor and slaughtered all of Asriel's men except for him. Augustine left Asriel alive and no one knows why. The elder counselors decided that alone was enough to make him worthy of his position.
Yes, that is the story indeed.
Godfrey and Joan let out yelps at the sudden appearance of Lord Asriel. He towered over them, even standing on 4 hooves.
You seem to have one thing wrong, though. You see, that little tidbit about nobody knowing why he did it?
The stallion lowered his head, eyes glowing fire red in the dim library.
I know why he did it. He wanted me to remember. That selfish bastard was my subordinate during the Great War. I taught him everything he knows. We fought for a mighty nation, one that no longer exists in today's world. I was a corporal and he was my specialist. Your little guardian decided to play double agent. He was offering aid to our enemy's cause.
Lord Asriel seemed to get lost in his reflection for a moment, rambling under his breath some other annoyances caused in generations past. It was just enough time for Joan to get Godfrey's attention.
Of course. The Great War. I should have remembered. It's in my History of Magical Conflicts class. The one where I learned about the shifters. The professor said they were typically accomplished warriors because of their ambition, their drive.
So you're telling me this guy holds an angry grudge?
His snide remark must have piqued Asriel's senses because the horse's muzzle was back in their face in an instant.
This is no grudge, boy. I outranked him, and he betrayed us. He made me look weak in the eyes of my king. We lost the war because of Augustine's insubordination.
You fought with the Archaeans, didn't you? The soldiers of the fallen nation?
Yes. We were a mighty unit until he got us disbanded. We fought for power so the Archaeans and their people could finally thrive beyond their island villages. Every man, woman, and child continued to suffer because of Augustine.
But I thought...
What was that?
Lord Asriel was gone in an instant, sprinting to the source of the commotion. Something in Joan, divine or not, pushed her to follow the stallion.
Joan, what are you doing? Are you trying to get us killed?
I just have a feeling. Trust me.
It seems you've gotten past my snares, old friend. How did you like revisiting the homunculi?
Before Augustine could answer, he spat something onto the ground. Something fleshy, misshapen, and moving.
You must be forgetting their allegiances, Corporal. The homunculi no longer follow the orders of the Archaeans, after you use them as pawns in your front lines.
Bastards.
What do you want, Asriel? For what cause have you committed treason?
Treason? You dare question me about treason? What about your betrayal? You slaughter my men and call me treasonous?
The stallion reared and took a swipe at Augustine, only to be met with a shield of loose force and went staggering back. Joan and Godfrey each backed up several paces.
You will not threaten me in my own domain, nor will you delude the minds of my pupils.
You're a fraud!
I am no such thing. I saved millions of lives that day, your own family included.
Do not speak of them. That was the last straw.
Asriel charged at Augustine, and the latter retaliated triple the force. USC Acorn's protector went trembling through multiple bookshelves, barely missing the terrified cousins now staring at their deity.
Go. I can handle him. Get back to your dorms now.
But...
Now!
Come on. Do you think he'll be okay? I've never seen Augustine so disheveled, ever.
Asriel knows victory will be Augustine's.
Did you just see a vision?
Augustine must have counteracted Asriel's forces. This means I can divine again.
All right, what do we need?
Godfrey watched in silent awe as his cousin began to gather materials from all over her room. Bones and stones, shells and sticks, anything to strengthen her craft in this dire moment. With the lighting of a singular candle, Joan turned to him.
I'm ready. Turn off the lights and don't make any noise. O me, O stars, from heaven to Mars, show me what I seek, ancient ones.
Did you get it? Can you see them?
Shh! Augustine has Asriel pinned. He's talking. It looks like Augustine got hurt, but he still has the upper hand.
So Augustine really can overpower his master. No wonder the elders deemed him worthy.
Something about honor? I don't know. The words are hazy. Augustine's getting annoyed. He's pushing down on Asriel's chest over and over.
What, like CPR?
Oh my god. He's not annoyed. He's desperate. Something's happening to Asriel. Augustine is trying to save him.
What do we do? Should we go back?
No. Augustine, stop trying. They're completely still. Silent.
Is Asriel... Did he make it?
The glaze from Joan's eyes faded, and she was back to her normal self. One small shake of her head told Godfrey everything he needed to know. After a solemn moment of silence, a form began to take shape in the middle of Joan's floor.
What the hell is...
Augustine appeared before their eyes, bloodied but healing with whatever powers he possessed.
Azrael has fallen. He exhausted his abilities coming here.
He knew he was going to die, didn't he?
Yes. He never got over what I did to him. For him. He couldn't see past the breach of trust. Never saw my reasons for doing it in the first place.
Why did you do it then? Spare him after all the brutality.
I couldn't go through with it. He gave me the very strength I wield today, even though his causes were misaligned, even though I knew he'd never forgive me. I couldn't do it.
So you risked the possibility of facing his wrath because you respected him?
Yes. Perhaps that is my downfall, allowing him to linger all these years.
What happens now? What's going to happen to USC Acorn?
That we will find out together.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Aghosta University. Aghosta University is produced by Schneider Hadfield and is edited by Addison Colvin. Today's hosts were voiced by Cody Robertson and Isabel Brown. Aghosta University is part of the Comcast Podcast Network and Aghosta University. The ideas and opinions expressed during this podcast are those of students enrolled in COM 3340, podcasting and audio production, and do not reflect those of Aghosta University.